Hey all, Heretic here with another Hearthstone Battlegrounds Player's Guide, and I'm here to bring you the information you need to help you win with Sindragosa. So get comfy and let's dive in. First, let's talk about their hero power, Stay Frosty. This is a free hero power that reads, freeze a minion in Bob's Tavern. Frozen minions get +2/+1 each turn. So what this means is you can either freeze one particular minion with your hero power, or you can freeze the entire board the same way you always do when you freeze, to save a shop. And this will buff all of them or just the one minion you buffed. It's kind of fantastic. It's great tempo in the early game. Towards the late game, it definitely falls off. But what it gives you is the ability to freeze just one minion. When you have a shop, you're tier 6, and of all those minions, you only want one of them. It's sure nice if you can just click on this hero power, target it, and say, I'm only going to have that one next turn. Now, when it comes to tiering with Sindragosa, typically I will do Warrior Curve or sometimes Basic Curve. I know some people like to use a more aggressive curve because of the buff from the hero power. They figure they just keep freezing the shop over and over again, and they can get those higher quality minions to justify it. And this certainly can work, but I like a more typical methodical pace of leveling, buffing certain minions you want to buff, and trying to build something a little more of the lines of what I want to play as opposed to a random hodgepodge of buffed things. Both plays work, it's just a style difference. Now, when it comes to looking for the minions and the strategies you might want to use, Sindragosa's hero power really does dictate a lot of that. The ability that you can freeze just one minion makes it nice. You really can spend more time finding the minions you want. It's pretty damn handy in buffing the minions you want. So the minions you really want are anything first with Divine Shield. These are nice, easy ones. You're going to give the little buff so they hit harder. They have a tiny bit more staying power, but you're buffing them and it's free, so that's kind of phenomenal. In the very best build, the thing you want to do the most is demons. So the reason why you want demons is because of the very late game, you can just scale at a phenomenal rate. And the trick to this is you get a tier 6 minion, you get that minion to be a Failbat, and at the end of the turn, when the Failbat consumes the tavern, you just make sure the tavern is frozen. The buff applies first, and then the Failbat eats all the minions. That means every one of your minions is getting at least an additional +2/+1 that's in the tavern for you to eat, which is no small increase, especially if you can get this Failbat relatively early or even later in the game. It's still a stat difference that's free. It's pretty awesome. Now, when it comes to countering Sindragosa, it's not terribly difficult. What they are going to do is they're going to have a little more stats. So all you need to do is be prepared for those stats. Expect everything to hit just a little harder. Maybe one minion that they've been saving frozen for a while, a lot harder than it should be, but otherwise still not dramatically different. Poison, Divine Shield's the best way to deal with this, but depending on the family and the board you're building, you know best on how to deal with the enemy board. Overall, Sindragosa is a very fun hero, in the right lobby especially. There's nothing overpowered the hero power, but in the right hands, targeting the right minions, getting those buffs in the right spots can really make the difference, especially if there's demons or a lot of divine shields in the board. Definitely, if you're going demons and you get to the late game, that scaling gets a lot better, which is phenomenal in a very good time. That's probably the best way to play it. But that being said, it can work with most families. You just have to get lucky buffing the right minions the right amount. In the end, I've attached a link with some gameplay. If you're looking to see how I powered them, stay tuned. I have more gods of the way. I hope you learned a few things today, and I hope you had a good time. I know I did. Bye.